everyone, it's Fruity Mama Yulia here from Rawsome Healthy, and today I'm with Dr. Douglas Graham, the author of the 8-10-10 diet and the father of the 8-10-10 movement. Dr. Graham, it's great to have you here.
It's a treat. It's a real treat for me to look you in the eye again, Yulia. I always enjoy this.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you about raw foodists going back to cooked food, and sometimes you see raw foodists just sticking to it, and for years and years and years they're happy with their raw lifestyle. Other times you see raw foodists going back to cooked food, and then they say, well, actually I feel better this way, and then they encourage other people to eat cooked food also. So why does it happen?
I think it happens for many reasons. The primary one is that our memory isn't as good as we'd like to think it is. Study after study has shown that when we recount stories of things that happened, whether it was yesterday or a month ago, that our memory tells us that things are different than the way they really were. We human beings don't remember accurately. And if something happens and there's 30 spectators, and you ask the 30 spectators what happened, you very likely may get 30 different stories. Our memory isn't always as good as we'd like to think our memory is. So, we're eating cooked food as children, we're eating cooked food as young adults, we're eating cooked food as adults, and we're not getting the results we want, and so we start eating more raw food. And we like what's going on, and we start eating a greater percentage of raw food, and then we find that that cooked food is really not working. We're either overeating on it, or we're like saving our hunger for the cooked food at the end of the day, or for whatever it is, and eventually you go, you know what, this cooked food is not taking me where I want to go. And then we say, I'm going to eat raw. Well, if you eat raw in a way that will work, and you're getting enough carbohydrates from your fruit, then you're satisfied, you're happy. I've been eating raw foods for 30 years. I'm not looking back. I'm not thinking of going to cook food. But if you're either not working the raw food program properly, or somehow you forget a little bit, why did you go raw? Well, you went raw because cooked food wasn't taking you where you wanted to go. And so then you go, well, I wonder if. Because certainly while we were going raw, we wondered if maybe there might be a cooked food that worked. Well, maybe baked potato might not be so bad, or maybe air pop popcorn, or something. There must be a way to eat some kind of cracker, maybe that's not so bad. And we gave cooked food so many chances, it's almost a habit to keep giving it more chances. Meanwhile, the influence is there, the pressure. We see people cave to the pressure. Your family is saying, have a little cooked food. How can it hurt you? And the pressure is always there. We see it. It's in the movies, it's in the magazines, it's in the storefronts, it's in all of our friends and neighbors. Everybody is doing it. And eventually we just kind of forget. Well, you had a health problem, but you haven't had that problem now for the last 3 years while you've been eating raw. It isn't so urgent anymore. I don't have that problem. Well, now maybe I could eat some cooked food. Well, no, actually, the way you got that problem was eating cooked food, and you forget. You eat a little cooked food, the world doesn't cave in. The first time, the second time, the third, the world doesn't cave in. But eventually, cooked food takes over. You find yourself eating a lot of cooked, very little raw. You find yourself having little changes that you're willing to put up with.
Like less energy and...
Yeah, if you're really committed to the cooked food thing, if it's got you hooked so strongly that you can't get the hook out of your jaw, and you just go, I've gotta. So, personally for me, I prefer to eat out of choice, out of preference. I want to eat for my health. I was a very sick child. I missed a lot of school. I was so sick. I had to have lots of medications and see way too many doctors for way too many treatments. I suffered way too much as a child. I don't fear suffering, but I don't enjoy suffering. And I find I feel so well on an all raw diet that I have no desire to go back to even if I could get away with a little cooked, I don't want to, because there's nothing in the cooked food that's giving me something that I don't get from raw, where there's lots in raw that I can't possibly get from cooked. So I just stick to the best.
And what would you recommend to people who perhaps have started introducing some cooked food and now they understand that it doesn't work, but they don't know how to go back?
Well, you go back the same way that you went in the first place. I mean, the easiest way to eat a raw diet is to eat raw food.
And to have
You know,
fruits and vegetables
just
in
eat
your
fruits
house.
and vegetables. It's got to be in the house. It's got to be abundant. You have to have variety in your house, so there's always something ready to go. Plan enough ahead so that you need to have 7 to 10 days worth of food in the house. Maybe not lettuce. You might not want to plan that far ahead with your lettuce, you know, but as far as fruits and things that need to ripen, you need to have a good supply, because it's very possible you're going to have some friends drop in, or you know, you might be extra hungry, something might go bad, you might have bought 5 melons and they rotted, and all of a sudden you go, oh, there's nothing to eat. So I like to keep a plentiful supply of food in the house, ready to go. It does take that aspect of planning, but the easiest way to eat raw food is to just jump in. Of the gradual transition or the overnight wholehearted change, the actual overnight wholehearted change is an easier way. It brings better success. It does not keep reinforcing the cooked food over and over and over again. And I find that fewer people go back and forth if they just stop the cooked food. I didn't so much feel, and I don't in my mind like to move away from things. I much prefer to think of what I'm moving towards. And so for me, I want to move towards eating cooked food, or more cooked food, or only cooked food. I want to go towards the results that come from eating raw foods. I wish to go to the results that come to me from eating an all raw diet, and I want that in my life, rather than thinking about what I don't want or where I don't want to go. But I know some people that, I've talked to enough people, and you know, say, well, do you want this? And they go, no. Well, would you like this? And they go, no. And they're very good at telling you what they don't want. For me, it works better to think about what do I do want, and I go towards what I do want. And I want the health results that come from the all raw diet.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, thank you very much for these tips and for this knowledge, and thank you just for being there, for sharing an example of a raw foodist, long-term raw foodist. And feel free to check Dr. Graham's website at foodandsport.com. There's lots of information and resources to help you stay raw. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, feel free to share it with other people, and subscribe for more videos. Eat sweet, keep fit, and we'll see you again shortly. Bye.
Bye-bye.